and welcome to Hardy Classics. Before we start this video, please like, share and subscribe, because it really does help us go out there and find some unusual cars for sale and some for the collection. And this car is definitely an unusual car, because I believe, and I might be wrong because there'll be people out there go out of the way to prove you wrong really, that this is the only one left on the road or in roadworthy condition. So what is it? Well, it's a bit of a giveaway when you say the front it says Rover. This is a 1923 Rover 14. Some people call them a Rover Clegg because it was designed by Owen Clegg, who worked for Rover, came from Wolsey to Rover, and designed these cars, I think, right up to 1924. I might be wrong again, but correct us if I'm wrong, because I'm not an expert on everything. And this car is an absolute star, and I can't tell you how nice the person was who we bought this car off. I was contacted by the family. It's been part of a deceased estate. The old chap's been gone 10 years, and I was dealing with his wife. What a lovely lady, and she was a lady. Nice house, lovely story with the car. Husband passed away 10 years ago. They had 3 cars. I think he had a Lagonda and a Bentley and the Rover, but the family had an affection for the Rover. I think they'd done a couple of weddings in the past for the daughter's friends and stuff, and I think the daughter used to drive it as well. So they hung on and hung on and hung on, and the old lady was getting on a bit and she was downsizing, so the family contacted us. We went down, retrieved the car, and the car was in possibly what you would say, without going in, covered cocoon storage, possibly one of the best places to store a car. It was stored in a, what can I say, a Tudor barn, on wooden blocks, so the tyres were off the ground, with a battery conditioner on it, and it had been stored like that for 10 years. So it had really been looked after. Apparently it was her husband's favourite car, and I did say to the woman, I'll find somebody who'll look after this car, and if they don't, I'll keep this car myself. I'm that confident about this car. Those who follow us on the channel will know a couple of years ago I had a beautiful green Rover 12. That was like a Clegg Rover, a 12. We did some filming with it, and then we sold it to a lovely chap who, again, sadly has passed away. So, you know, it just shows you these things, you can't have them forever. You just, when you've got them, enjoy them. So I'd rather sell this to somebody as put it in my museum and nobody drive it, because it basically is a driving car and it wants driving. It's just a fantastic example of a rare car. We'll have a quick walk around of it in a minute. That's basically the history of it. As I say, fantastic family where it came from, and again, I knew a bit of the history. They actually bought it back in the early 1980s, and I think they were the second owner. The first owner was the Heritage Museum in Warwickshire, I believe. When it was new, it was blue, and they got it repainted this cream with the aluminium bonnet, which I think really suits it, especially if you're going to use it for weddings or for family weddings or whatever. But again, just a lovely piece of art, really, piece of history, to be fair. And the way the prices of these things are going, you know, relative to modern cars or modern classic cars, you know, these are really good value for money. And I sound like I'm waffling on, but I've sold a lot of Rovers. We have a 1906 one in the showroom at the minute. We took a deposit on. I seem to specialise in Rovers for some reason, and when this car was new, it was competing against probably Rolls-Royce, and I actually prefer this to a Rolls-Royce. So there you go. Right, let's have a walk around the car. So we'll start at the front, and the first thing you might notice is the distinctive registration there, SB 1989, which is a transferable registration, which I hope whoever buys it keeps it with the car, but it definitely has a value. If your initials were SB and you were born in 1989, you know what I mean? So bodywork wise, the car is super solid. Really is a solid car. There is a bit of drama on the paintwork in places, the likes of this, but it's only where it's chipped off. The polished aluminium bonnet, again, I think really suits the car. It could be any colour with that polished aluminium bonnet. Wheels and tyres are good. The timber around here is in amazing condition. Going around the back here, you've got a luggage rack or a picnic rack. That's your petrol tank. Again, these are in great condition, absolutely fantastic, no rot or rust, they're just solid steel. But it does want a bit of a tidy up. Like I say, these are cast iron wheels, they're not wooden spokes, there's little bits of chips on the paintwork, even on the door, but it's just as we found it. And when people say a barn find, well, it is a barn find, but it wasn't a barn find, if you know what I mean. It was in a fantastic, like I said, Jury garage, that's how I can describe it. And an ideal storage situation for something like this. Engine wise, I'll have a quick look under the bonnet. Oh dear. There you go. I think it's something like again, correct us if I'm wrong, 2.2 or a 2.1 litre, 4-cylinder. It's got plenty of power. In fact, in top gear, she'll growl away in top gear. We've had her up the road in top gear. When we bought the car, we bought it as a non-runner, and basically just gently recommissioned it, took the fuel tank off, cleaned the fuel tank, flushed the cooling system, got the magneto refurbished, changed the points, and what we have found is the water pump's leaking. So it's got a leaky water pump. It's possibly just a packing gland that needs repacking or wants stripping down and rebuilding, but not a big job, not really. I mean, you won't get one off the shelf, but an engineering company will re-engineer your shaft or whatever if it needs that. Moving around the inside of the car, I like this period shell petrol can there. It's lovely, isn't it? The brass. It's missing a horn bulb here, and it's missing a door, as you'll notice, because like a lot of cars from this period, gear stick, well, quality cars from this period, and handbrake are down here. And if you notice how small this seat is, at the time these cars were probably meant to be driven by a chauffeur, so he'd have the most uncomfortable job in the world, driving you around. Legroom in the back's massive, obviously. Dashboard, if we can have a look at the dash, beautiful wood dashboard there. It's not showing any signs of discoloration or age. Seats and carpets, again, they're a bit discoloured, but they're in really good condition. I love these varnished door cappings, they're beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Back seat again there, plenty of room in the back there. These holes here are for the side screens, which are kept in the back there, you can just see in there. So all the weatherproof gears in there. I haven't shown a picture of the hood up, but the hood is in surprisingly good condition. There's no major rips or tears. Whether it's waterproof or not after all this time, I'm not sure. I wouldn't have thought so, you know. I mean, it might be showerproof, but waterproof might be a bit of an ask for it to sit out in the rain for days on end. All we've done inside the car is cleaned it and a little bit of polish. We haven't gone daft on all the brass. You know, it probably wants a bit of brasso to bling it up a bit. And the same with the interior and the hood. I mean, you know, normally we'd put the hood up and put a bit of boot polish on the hood and boot polish it up because it's meant to be black. But we haven't in this case. We've just left it the way it is. And basically this is the way the car left the old lady's house. There's a couple of files in the house, in the office there, with information on the car, bills it's had spent over the years. There's a workshop diagram of the car. So it all sort of comes together in a package. The car was spec'd as a 4-speed. They made these in 3 or 4, and this one has a 4-speed gearbox, which is really good. And like I say, in 4th gear, it's a really strong pulling car. The Rover 12 we had, I really thought was one of the best driving 20s, early 20s sort of around that era cars to drive, but this is just up there with it. It's a really nice car to drive. To sum it up, 1923 Rover, in what can only be said as not original condition, because it has been restored at some point in its life, probably 50 years ago, but it's been lovingly done, and it's what people call patina these days. It's got beautiful patina on it. An unusual car, a quality car. Why go and buy a Morris Cowley Bullnose, which is a good car, don't get me wrong, you know, or a heavy 12 Austin, when you can have this, possibly one of the most unique Rovers out there, this Rover 14. So if you want any more information on the car, just let us know, send us an email or ring us or follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And like I say, please like and subscribe our channel, because it really does make me want to go out there and make some more interesting videos on classic, veteran and vintage cars. Bye bye now.